The galaxy was wide, filled with stars and planets, and countless alien civilizations. Among these civilizations, humans were still considered young. They had only recently stepped into deep space. The older races, the great empires that had ruled for thousands of years, saw humans as children. They laughed at human ships, calling them weak and fragile. But then, a whisper began to move across the stars. It started small, like a rumor told in quiet corners of space stations. A strange human warship had been seen, a ship that should not exist. Some called it a ghost ship. Others said it was only a lie spread by humans to scare enemies. But the whispers did not stop. An alien commander of the Zarth Empire first heard it during a council meeting. His officers argued about trade routes, about colonies, about war. Then, a nervous messenger entered with trembling hands. He carried a report from a patrol ship. The message was broken, filled with static, but one word was clear. That word was, impossible. The commander narrowed his eyes. He replayed the broken message again and again. Impossible, the dying voice said, before silence. What could make a soldier use such a word? The story spread to other empires. A patrol ship gone, no wreckage, no survivors, only a strange report. Then another, and another. 3 different patrols vanished near human space, each sending the same final word. Impossible. The alien leaders laughed at first. Humans cannot build such ships, they said. They cannot even match our smallest cruisers. But inside, many of them felt a shadow of fear. One night, in the deep void near the Red Star of Dravos, an alien scout ship picked up a strange signal. It was faint, like the heartbeat of a giant hiding in the dark. The crew thought it was just interference, but the captain ordered them to follow. Slowly, they moved closer to the source. The void was silent. The stars burned far away. Then, out of nothing, a shape appeared. At first, it looked like a shadow, darker than space itself. The alien crew froze as the shadow grew larger and larger. No light came from it, no engines, no sound. It was just there, like a mountain floating in the void. The alien pilot whispered, "It is too big to be human. This is not possible." The ship scanners screamed with errors. The shadow was covered with strange energy that blocked every scan. The crew could not read its size, its weapons, or even its exact shape. But they knew one thing, it was watching them. A cold silence filled the scout ship. The crew did not even breathe loudly, as if sound could wake the giant before them. Then, for the first time, the shadow moved. A line of light slowly appeared on its surface. It was not random. It was a symbol. The human insignia glowed bright against the dark, a blue earth, surrounded by stars. The aliens stared in shock. This was a human ship. But how? Humans did not have this technology. Humans could not build something this large, this powerful, this terrifying. Before the aliens could speak, the lights of the human ship shifted. Their control panels turned red. Weapons were locking on them. The alien captain panicked. "Send a message to the fleet. Warn them. Tell them." But the words never finished. The scout ship's transmission cut off mid-sentence. Silence returned to the stars. Far away, at the Zarth Council, the commander who had heard the first rumor now received a final broken message from his scouts. The screen showed the alien captain, his face pale with terror. Behind him, a faint glow of light reflected off a massive hull, a hull with the mark of Earth. Then the message ended. The council chamber filled with nervous voices. Some shouted that it was a human trick. Others argued it was real, that humans had found something powerful, something hidden. The commander sat in silence. He remembered the dying word of his patrols. He remembered the fear in the captain's eyes. Finally, he spoke. "If this ship is real, then humans are not weak anymore. If this ship is real, then the galaxy will never be the same again." No one answered. They all felt the same chill. In the dark space near human borders, the ghost ship drifted silently. No human crew was seen. No message was sent. Only the stars knew its true nature. But one thing was clear. The warship that should not exist, did exist. And it was waiting. The alien council halls were restless. Every empire, every fleet commander, every spy in the galaxy had now heard the same rumor. Somewhere near human space, a ship existed that should not exist. A ship that was too strong, too fast, too large to be built by a young species like humanity. Some laughed. They called it human propaganda, a simple trick to scare the older races. Others were not so sure. Too many patrols had gone missing. Too many scouts had sent the same last message before being destroyed. Impossible. One empire decided they would not wait for more rumors. The Varan Dominion, proud and cruel, sent a small but powerful fleet to investigate. They did not believe in ghosts. They believed in war. The Varan fleet commander was a cold-hearted alien named Karth Vel. His ships were lined with dark metal and armed with heavy plasma cannons. He had crushed rebellions, destroyed colonies, and burned planets into ash. He believed humans were nothing but fragile creatures crawling out of their cradle. He planned to prove it. "Find the so-called human ghost," he ordered. "If it exists, I will bring its wreckage back to our empire." The fleet jumped into the void near human borders. At first, the space was calm. Stars glittered, and silence ruled. But then, strange signals began to appear. The scanners picked up a heartbeat-like rhythm, faint but steady. The crew of the lead ship looked at each other nervously. "It is the same signal the other fleets reported," one officer whispered. Commander Karth leaned forward. "Track it. Hunt it." The ships moved deeper into the sector. The signal grew stronger. The stars seemed to fade around them, as if something massive was blocking their light. And then, they saw it. The shadow. Just as the rumors said, it appeared without warning, darker than the void itself. Its size was enormous, greater than any warship in known space. The alien crew froze, their voices stuck in their throats. Slowly, lines of light spread across the shadow surface. The glow formed a symbol. A circle of blue, with stars around it. The insignia of Earth. The Varan officers gasped. "It is human, but how?" Their scanners screamed again. Error messages filled the screens. They could not measure its weapons. They could not read its engines. They could not even calculate its exact size. The warship's energy field was too strong, bending every signal back into static. "Fire on it," Karth ordered. His voice was sharp, steady, but deep inside, even he felt a flicker of unease. The fleet unleashed its weapons. Plasma cannons roared. Missiles shot forward, glowing like falling stars. Beams of light crossed the void, striking the massive ship. The explosions came. But when the light faded, the human ship was still there. Untouched. Silent. Not even a scratch. Gasps filled the Varan ships. Officers looked at their commander in shock. Karth's jaw tightened. "Fire again. Do not stop until it breaks." Wave after wave of weapons smashed into the ship. The darkness lit up with explosions, but still, the ghost ship did not move. It simply floated there, like it was watching, like it was studying them. And then, for the first time, it responded. The massive warship shifted slightly. The sound of its engines echoed through the void, deep and heavy like the roar of a beast waking up. Its weapons lit up, bright lines of fire tracing across its hull. The Varan officers froze. Their panels turned red. The ghost ship had locked onto them. The silence lasted only a second. Then one beam of light fired. It was not loud. It was not messy. It was clean, sharp, and final. One of the Varan battleships disappeared instantly, cut in half like paper. No explosion, no wreckage. Just gone. The fleet screamed in panic. Crews shouted. Some tried to flee. Some tried to fire again. But fear spread faster than orders. "This is not possible," one officer cried. The commander's hand shook as he gave his final order. "Send a message. Warn the council. Tell them humanity has built." His words ended in static. The ghost ship fired again. Another battleship vanished. Then another. The void became silent once more. Only 2 Varan ships managed to escape, jumping into hyperspace with broken engines and terrified crews. They carried with them a single message. The ghost ship is real. Humanity has built a warship that should not exist. Back in the Varan capital, the council listened in silence as the survivors described what they had seen. The great commanders, who had mocked the humans only days ago, now sat pale and speechless. If the humans truly had such a ship, then no empire was safe. And somewhere, in the cold dark, the ghost ship drifted silently once again. Watching. Waiting. The Varan council chamber was in chaos. Voices clashed, shouting over one another, each commander desperate to be heard. The survivors from the doomed fleet stood at the center, trembling as they repeated their words. "The ship is real. The humans built it. And it cannot be stopped." Many in the council refused to believe. "Lies!" one elder shouted. "A trick by the humans. Their ships are weak. They have no such power." But the survivors held their ground. They described the shadow in the void. They told of weapons that erased ships in a single shot. They spoke of fear that spread like poison through every officer and every soldier. Silence finally fell over the chamber. The truth could no longer be ignored. Humanity had built a ghost ship. Across the galaxy, news spread like fire. Every empire heard whispers of the impossible warship. Some laughed. Some trembled. Some made plans. But while the galaxy argued, the ghost ship moved. It drifted through the void, silent, like a predator. It did not answer hails. It did not send warnings. It simply appeared, and waited. 1 week later, the Kalari Empire sent a scout fleet of 6 ships to test it. Their commander, Admiral Terra, was known for her calm and clever mind. She did not believe in myths. She wanted proof. "Do not fire unless attacked," she ordered. "We will watch it. We will study it. We will learn what it is." Her ships entered the dark sector near the human borders. The stars grew faint, as if hidden behind a curtain. The crews felt uneasy. Something about the space felt wrong. And then, there it was. The shadow loomed ahead. Silent. Waiting. The alien crews froze as the massive shape blocked out the stars. Slowly, its surface lit up. The insignia of Earth glowed bright against the darkness. A whisper passed through the Kalari fleet. "It's true." Admiral Terra's hands tightened on the arm of her chair. "Hold positions. Do not provoke it. Scan everything." Her officers tried, but their scanners returned nothing but errors. The ghost ship's energy field bent every signal, swallowing their attempts like water swallowing stones. "This makes no sense," an officer said nervously. "No known technology can block scans like this." The admiral frowned. "Then it is not known technology. It is something else." Her words had barely left her lips when alarms blared. Every Kalari ship's panels flashed red. The ghost ship had locked onto them. The admiral stood quickly. "Shields up. Prepare evasive maneuvers." The crews scrambled. Shields rose. Engines roared. But before they could move, the ghost ship struck. One beam of white light fired. It cut through the void like a blade. The Kalari flagship's shields shattered instantly. The beam tore through the ship's core. In seconds, the vessel exploded into a cloud of fire and broken metal. The fleet screamed in panic. Officers shouted, their voices shaking. "Fire back!" one captain cried. Weapons roared to life. Plasma bolts, missiles, and heavy beams streaked toward the ghost ship. Explosions lit the void, and faded into nothing. The massive ship did not move. Not a single scratch appeared on its dark hull. "It's invincible!" someone shouted. The admiral's second-in-command screamed into the comms. "Retreat! Retreat now!" But it was too late. The ghost ship fired again. Another Kalari battleship vanished. Then another. The alien fleet fell apart. Crews abandoned formation. Some tried to flee. Some fired wildly in panic. None of it mattered. The human warship did not rush. It did not chase. It struck with calm, silent precision. Each shot was a death sentence. Each shot erased a ship from existence. Admiral Terra, aboard her damaged cruiser, stared at the screen in horror. For the first time in her long career, she felt true fear. She whispered to herself, "This is not human. No species this young could build such a thing." Her ship's engines screamed as they jumped into hyperspace, fleeing with only 2 surviving vessels. Behind them, the ghost ship remained. Silent. Watching. The survivors carried their story back to the Kalari Empire. When they arrived, their word spread across the galaxy like a storm. The ghost ship was no rumor. It was no trick. It was real. And it could not be stopped. Panic spread. Some empires demanded war. Others begged for peace. Some even suggested joining humans before it was too late. But all of them asked the same question: how did humans build such a ship? The answer remained hidden. Humanity said nothing. Earth's government stayed silent. No messages, no warnings, no explanations. The ghost ship continued to drift, its true purpose unknown. But the galaxy knew one thing: this was no ordinary warship. It was a weapon that should not exist. The galaxy was no longer calm. Fear spread faster than light. Everywhere, people whispered about the human ghost ship. In crowded spaceports, merchants lowered their voices when speaking of it. Soldiers in distant outposts argued if it was real or a lie. Leaders in their councils shouted at each other, desperate for answers. The rumors grew darker with every telling. Some said the ship could destroy fleets in a single strike. Others claimed it could vanish and reappear anywhere. A few even whispered that it had no crew, that it was alive, a weapon with a mind of its own. No one agreed on the truth. But one fact was clear: ships were disappearing, and those who survived spoke with trembling voices. The Kalari survivors had returned broken. Their stories of destruction were carried on every channel. Their words painted the same picture the Varian survivors had described: a ship too powerful to exist. Alien citizens across the stars began to panic. Some fled border worlds near human space. Others demanded their leaders destroy Earth before it was too late. The empires could no longer laugh. In the council chambers of the Zarth Empire, leaders shouted over each other. "We must crush them now," one general roared. "Fool! If we attack and fail, humanity will bring that ship against us," another shouted. "Perhaps it is only one ship," a scientist argued. "Perhaps it cannot be copied." "But what if there are more?" a commander whispered. The chamber fell silent at those words. What if humanity was building more? While the leaders argued, spies moved in secret. Every major empire sent their best agents toward Earth. They wanted answers. How did humans build it? Where did the technology come from? Could it be stolen? One spy, a thin and quiet agent from the Cinder Alliance, made the most progress. He infiltrated a human station near the border and accessed stolen data. What he found sent shockwaves through the underworld. Blueprints, energy readings, test results, all showing the same thing: the warship was real. Its power came from something hidden deep beneath Earth, something the humans had discovered but never shared. The spy barely escaped with the data. His last transmission was short. Confirmed. The ship exists. And it is worse than we imagined. The Cinder leaders trembled when they saw the stolen blueprints. The ship's energy core was not only strong, it was ancient. Far older than humanity. "What have they found?" one elder whispered. But while leaders whispered in fear, the ghost ship moved. It no longer stayed near the border. It entered trade routes used by thousands of ships every day. Merchant convoys reported seeing a shadow drifting silently beside them. Patrol fleets swore they saw a massive shape watching from the distance. But the ghost ship never attacked. Not yet. That silence made the galaxy even more afraid. "Why doesn't it strike?" people asked. "What are the humans waiting for?" The fear grew heavier, day by day. Every flicker of light in space became a shadow. Every radar glitch felt like a warning. Then came the breaking point. At the great market station of Relar Prime, a hub where 10 empires traded, the ghost ship appeared. One moment, the skies were full of merchant ships. The next, a dark shape filled the void. The station's alarms screamed. Thousands of ships scattered in panic. Fighters launched. Warships powered their weapons. The ghost ship remained still. It sent no message. It fired no weapons. It only watched. The commanders on Relar Prime debated in terror. Some begged to fire. Others begged to stay silent. Finally, one captain panicked. He ordered his fleet to fire everything they had. Dozens of plasma blasts, missiles, and beams struck the ghost ship. The sky lit up with fire. For a moment, the attackers believed they had won. But when the smoke cleared, the shadow remained. Untouched. Then, for the first time in days, it moved. Its weapons lit up. One beam fired. An entire destroyer vanished instantly. The galaxy watched in horror as Relar Prime's channels broadcasted the event live. Billions saw the impossible. Billions heard the screams. Panic exploded. Civilizations that had once mocked humans now begged for answers. Some called for peace treaties with Earth. Others demanded a united war before it was too late. The galaxy was divided. But everyone agreed on one thing: the humans had changed the balance of power forever. The galaxy could not breathe. Every council, every station, every colony was filled with the same fear: the human ghost ship. It had destroyed fleets. It had silenced great commanders. It had stood in front of Relar Prime, untouched by thousands of weapons, and with a single strike, erased a destroyer from existence. The people of the galaxy were terrified. Merchants refused to travel near human borders. Colonies whispered that Earth was building more ships in secret. Soldiers who once laughed at humans now woke in the night, sweating from dreams of a shadow bigger than stars. The leaders of 5 great empires gathered in a hidden council. They had once been enemies, fighting wars against each other. But now, they shared a single fear. The Varin Dominion. The Kalari Empire. The Zarth Coalition. The Cinder Alliance. And the Draylock Swarm. Together, they created a desperate plan. "This ship must be destroyed," said the Zarth commander. "If we let humanity grow, no one will be safe," hissed the Draylock Queen. "Then we strike together," Admiral Karth Vel growled, his pride still burning from his first defeat. They built a fleet unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Thousands of warships from 5 empires gathered in silence. Their weapons were charged. Their commanders swore they would not fail. It was not just a fleet. It was a trap. They chose the asteroid field of Vera's Rift. A maze of rock and shadows, perfect for ambush. The fleets hid among the asteroids, engines cold, weapons ready. At the heart of the trap, they left bait, a convoy of unarmed ships broadcasting weak signals, pretending to be lost merchants. Now they waited. Hours passed. Silence ruled the rift. Crews sat in the dark, barely breathing, their hands ready on the controls. Some whispered prayers. Some whispered curses. Then, it appeared. The shadow. It slipped into the rift without warning. No sound. No signal. No heat. One moment, the stars were clear. The next, the massive outline of the ghost ship drifted into view. Every crew member felt their heart stop. It was larger than they remembered, darker, like a storm given form. "Hold your fire," the commanders whispered through the fleet. "Wait until it is in range." The ghost ship glided deeper into the rift. Its insignia glowed faintly against the dark hull, Earth's mark shining like a challenge to the galaxy. The alien commanders clenched their fists. Their trap was ready. Now, Admiral Karth Vel snarled. The void exploded. From every direction, the hidden fleets fired. Thousands of plasma blasts, missiles, and beams filled the rift. The asteroid field shook as the storm of weapons lit up the darkness. Rocks shattered. Space itself seemed to burn. For a moment, the fleets believed. For a moment, they thought the ghost ship could not withstand this storm. But when the light faded, the shadow remained. Untouched. The alien crews gasped in horror. "No, it cannot be." The ghost ship moved for the first time. Slowly, silently, its massive hull turned, like a predator finally facing its prey. Its weapons lit up, bright lines running across the dark metal. A deep silence fell. Every crew member felt it, the calm before death. Then it struck. One beam fired. A Draylock battleship vanished, cut clean in half. Another beam fired. A Kalari cruiser exploded in silence, its wreckage scattering into the rift. The fleet screamed into chaos. Commanders shouted orders, but fear drowned their voices. "Fall back," one screamed. "Keep firing," another shouted. "Nothing is working." The ghost ship did not rush. It moved with slow, terrifying control. Each shot was precise. Each shot erased another warship. Asteroids shattered under the blasts. Fire and wreckage filled the rift. The trap had turned into a slaughter. Admiral Karth Vel slammed his fists on the console. "We cannot lose again. Focus everything on its core. Everything." His ships obeyed. The fleets unleashed their greatest weapons, superheated plasma storms, heavy antimatter missiles, gravity torpedoes. The rift glowed brighter than a sun. When the light cleared, the fleet stared. The ghost ship was still there. Its hull shimmered faintly, as if covered by an energy shield not of this galaxy. It had taken the combined wrath of 5 empires, and survived. For the first time, even Admiral Karth Vel felt despair. "This is not human technology," he whispered. "This is something else." The ghost ship's main cannon began to charge. A blinding light gathered at its core, brighter and brighter, until it outshone the stars. The alien fleets froze, realizing what was about to happen. The asteroid field of Vera's Rift burned like a dying sun. Shattered rocks floated as wreckage drifted between them. Thousands of alien ships had filled the rift only moments ago. Now, most were gone. The ghost ship had fired its main cannon once. Only once. That single beam had turned fleets into dust. But a few ships remained. Crippled, smoking, but alive. They were the survivors of 5 empires, the proud fleets that had sworn to destroy humanity's weapon. Fear filled every cockpit. Silence spread across the remaining ships. Admiral Carth Vel stared at the giant shadow on his screen. He had mocked humans, called them weak, and promised to tear their ship apart. But now, his heart shook. His crews were broken. His fleets were gone. Yet, retreat was not an option. The Empires had given him one order: destroy the human ship, or die trying. Carth slammed his hand on the console. We are not beaten yet. Focus all fire on that thing. Give it everything we have. The survivors obeyed. Weapons lit up once again. Plasma, beams, and missiles streaked across the void. The rift blazed with light. The ghost ship drifted calmly through the storm. The attack struck its dark hull, exploding in bursts of fire. But when the smoke cleared, the ship was still there. Untouched. Silent. The alien officers screamed in despair. It doesn't break, one cried. This is hopeless, shouted another. We can't win against a god. Admiral Carth bared his teeth. Keep firing. If we fall fighting. The ghost ship finally answered. Its weapons lit up across its massive frame. Bright lines spread along its surface, glowing like veins of fire. Then the beams fired. One Kalari battleship vanished in an instant. A cinder destroyer exploded, torn into pieces. Another Zarth cruiser was cut clean in half. The survivors panicked. They scattered in every direction, trying to escape the unstoppable fire. But the ghost ship didn't chase. It didn't need to. Every shot was precise. Every shot erased another warship. The rift became a graveyard. Admiral Carth watched as his ships fell, one after another. His pride was gone. Only rage remained. He turned to his officers. Prepare the Doomsday Cannon. The crew froze. The Doomsday Cannon was a weapon forbidden by the Empires. Its power could crack a planet. Using it was suicide. But Admiral, an officer began. Do it! Carth roared. If I must burn with this thing, then I will take it with me. The Doomsday Cannon began to charge. Energy gathered inside Carth's flagship, shaking the ship itself. Lights flickered. Hull panels cracked. The power was too much, but he didn't care. Across the rift, the ghost ship turned. Its massive cannon began to glow again, preparing another impossible strike. Two titans faced each other in the void. One, a desperate alien flagship ready to burn itself to ash. The other, the human ghost ship, calm and silent, holding the power of stars. Every surviving crew watched in terror. No one breathed. No one spoke. The galaxy itself seemed to hold still. Carth's cannon charged brighter, tearing the ship apart piece by piece. His officers screamed as consoles exploded. But Carth stood tall, fire in his eyes. I will not bow to humans, he shouted. I will show them our strength. The ghost ship's cannon reached full charge. Its glow blinded the rift. The energy pulsed like the heartbeat of a god. Two beams fired. One from the alien flagship. One from the ghost ship. The void erupted in white light. The asteroid field shattered. The survivors were thrown from their seats as shockwaves ripped through space. When the light faded, silence ruled. Carth's flagship was gone, erased from existence. No wreckage remained. Nothing at all. But the ghost ship still drifted. Its hull burned faintly, scarred for the first time. Not destroyed. Not broken. But scarred. The survivors gasped. For the first time, they had hurt it. The ghost ship's lights dimmed. Its weapons powered down. Slowly, it turned away from the rift, gliding back into the dark void. It was leaving. The survivors trembled. Was it retreating? Or was it simply finished with them? No one knew. All they knew was this: they had faced a battle that should never have happened. A battle where thousands of ships had fallen, and humanity's ghost ship had walked away. The galaxy had never been so restless. The ghost ship's battle at Vera's Rift was still being replayed on every channel. Billions had seen it. Entire fleets destroyed. One alien flagship burning itself alive with a forbidden weapon, only to vanish against the impossible human warship. For the first time, the ghost ship had been scarred. Not destroyed, but scarred. That single mark changed everything. Some empires celebrated. It can be hurt, they shouted. It is not a god. Others panicked. If one ship is this strong, how many more are the humans building? The galaxy needed answers. And they turned their eyes to Earth. In the hidden chambers of the Galactic Council, leaders met in secret. The survivors of the rift sat among them, their faces pale, their voices shaking. "They cannot have built that ship alone," growled a Cinderlord. "It carries power older than any empire," whispered a Kalari scholar. "Then we must learn the truth," said a Zarth commander. "What fuels it? Where did it come from?" Whispers filled the chamber. Finally, the council agreed. They would send their best spies to Earth, not to fight, but to uncover the secret. Meanwhile, deep under Earth itself, in a sealed bunker known only to a few, the truth was already known. The ghost ship was not fully human. Dr. Mara Keene, the lead scientist of the Human Defense Program, stood before the massive hologram of the warship. She had built its systems, but even she could not take credit for its heart. The core. A glowing sphere of ancient energy pulsed at the center of the hologram. It was older than Earth, older than humanity. They had not created it. They had found it. Decades ago, humans had discovered the core buried beneath the ice of Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. It was part of something far greater, something left behind by a civilization so ancient that not even the oldest galactic records spoke of them. Human scientists had tried to unlock it for years. They failed. Until one day, it responded, to humans alone. It bonded with them. It powered the ghost ship. It obeyed no one else. Dr. Keene stared at the readings. She whispered to herself, "It chose us." But why? Far across the galaxy, one spy had already uncovered this same truth. The Cinder officer who had survived the rift now worked in shadows. His name was Valen, and he was no ordinary spy, he was the Cinder's most trusted. He had intercepted stolen data, fragments of human transmissions. He pieced them together, and the picture became clear. "The humans found an ancient power," Valen whispered into his recorder. "They did not invent it. They did not build it. They awoke it." He paused, trembling. "And it accepted them." Valen's eyes burned with fear. If the humans were chosen, then perhaps the old legends were true. Perhaps humanity was not the galaxy's youngest race, but its most dangerous. Back on Earth, the leaders debated in secret. Generals demanded more ships. Scientists warned of risks. Some feared the ancient core might turn on them one day. But the voices of fear were silenced by the voice of Admiral Holt, commander of the ghost ship itself. "We are no longer weak," Holt said. "For centuries, the galaxy mocked us, ignored us, and threatened us. Now, they know the truth. Humanity will not bow." Dr. Keene listened, unease growing in her heart. She wanted to believe the Admiral. But something about the core still haunted her. Late that night, she studied the readings again. Strange signals pulsed from the core, patterns she could not explain. They weren't random. They were language. Her hands shook as she decoded the first fragments. The message was simple. "We are coming." The ghost ship, scarred but alive, drifted silently above Earth. Its lights pulsed like a heartbeat. None of the admirals noticed. None of the generals cared. But Dr. Keene knew. The core was not silent. It was waiting. And whatever had built it was not gone.